Run.
Tuscany, a land of natural beauty, history, wine, and football managers. Now 4 out of 20 coaches in Serie A hail from this region. Massimiliano Allegri, Luciano Spalletti, Walter Mazzarri, Leonardo Semplici.
My ideal would be to become a mix between Allegri and Sarri. I think that if I could blend the quality of play of the latter and the mental strength of the former's teams, then the result would be wonderful.
So when Semplici's SPAL take on Allegri's Juventus in Turin on Saturday, expect the Tuscan school of tactics to show all its best ingredients.
We are never sated. We are always hungry for more. Even when we win, we study the match to see where we can improve, where we can do something differently. The hunger to improve is one of our key traits, and it is a key trait in this job. When I started to coach a team in the lower leagues, my dream was to make it to the 4th tier. Now, I've made it to the top, Serie A. It has been a long learning journey for me. I have won every league up to Serie A. I think that experience is my biggest strength.
In 5 seasons at SPAL, Semplici has demonstrated remarkable versatility. He'll change strategy, formation, even his personal beliefs.
My team needs to be constantly evolving, constantly adapting to what we're working on in training. The team must never settle for what we've got, because that is the moment everyone else overtakes you. We need to be ambitious and aim to improve every day. I hope this is just a starting point for us, not the arrival.
A native of Florence, Semplici coached Fiorentina Primavera between 2011 and 2014, helping a kid from Carrara to emerge as a future star of Italian football. When Federico Bernardeschi faced SPAL in Turin last season, a sublime strike showed he was living up to his mentor's expectations.
Oh, cracking goal from Bernardeschi, who lifted it up and volleyed it into the far corner. Juve 1, SPAL 0.
I believe he is one of the best players in Italy at the moment. He is extremely skilled and has great mental strength as well. He's always shown great ambition and desire to constantly improve, and he's turned that desire into reality.
Cristiano Ronaldo is the epitome of that desire to improve. Yet challenging the Portuguese and challenging the 7-time Italian champions generates not fear, but excitement.
Ronaldo's arrival at Juventus has brought a lot of attention to both the team and Italian football. He is clearly a boon for our league. However, we know what our goal is. Our objective is to avoid relegation, and we want to make life as hard as possible for all our opponents. We know we're up against a really strong team, led by a coach with vast experience, one who has won a lot of titles. But I always back my lads to be able to do something special.
Juventus responded well after that disappointing against United midweek, obviously, to put in this sort of performance.
Yeah, a game they were in control of, and then obviously there was the Matuidi challenge in the edge of the box and the Szczesny mistake. Obviously for Milan, getting off to such a bad start, it was always going to be an uphill battle, but in all fairness to them, whilst they haven't got the quality of Juventus, they hung in there. They hung in there until that Ronaldo goal, so they were always in the game. And then, of course, Higuain, who was sent off, but we were saying before he was sent off, never seen him making as many runs, but he was really ramped up.
Yeah, you could see it.
I think it's great we're giving AC Milan credit for hanging in there, but that's really all they did. You know, Juventus to me always looked as though they had another gear. They almost let them back in with that penalty.
Yeah.
But Milan didn't take advantage of it, and from there really there was only going to be one winner, and there was.
Gav Marcotti, Juventus getting it done.
Yeah, and I think in some ways we're seeing a slightly different Juventus in Serie A. I thought they focused on controlling the tempo. They're less attacking, less dominating, perhaps than we see in the Champions League. Allegri was asked about this and said, teams attack us more in the Champions League, so there's more space in which to play. Milan just not at the races, and they have so many injuries in key positions. You credit Gattuso for trying something different with Castillejo, Suso, and Çalhanoğlu all on at the same time. But the problem is when you're out there and it just doesn't work because there's no playmaker in midfield, all of a sudden, as the boys are saying, all they can really do is hang in there.
Another weekend in the Serie A is upon us, and Paul Mariner is joining me as we tackle Serie A Predictamaras, your absolute favorite. So we'll see if you're a proper challenge for me this weekend.
I will be.
Genoa, Napoli, you're already ready to make your picks.
I am. Genoa cannot stop conceding goals. Napoli are scoring goals for fun. Absolutely.
Genoa maybe at home, but I think that's the only favour that they'll have on their side. You definitely would expect Napoli to get the job done in this one, and I'm going to pick them. Atalanta, even though you like to call them Atlanta, up against Inter Milan, who had a pretty relatively decent result in the Champions League midweek. So, what do you think?
I think that Inter have got it going. I think that, the normal thought process is that all the games are going to be tight, but I just think there's too much separation. Inter.
Yep, I'm going to go with Inter Milan as well. Roma up against Sampdoria.
Fantastic win in the Champions League in the week. They're sort of faltering a little bit in the league. They just cannot find somebody to play that holding role alongside Nzonzi, who I think has been a good signing for them. Dzeko didn't have one of his best nights the other night. I think at home he will, and I think that Roma will do it.
I know, I agree with you with Roma. That has faltered somewhat. You were looking to see them in the top 5, and it's kind of shocking to see them all the way down in 9th, just right in the top 10. But I think that they should be able to take care of Sampdoria at home. This one could be pretty interesting. They're so close in the table. Lazio traveling to Sassuolo. How do you see this going?
I can't separate these two sides. I think, you look at it on paper, you say, oh, Sassuolo, this is going to be, a Lazio game. I don't see it that way. I say draw.
You little fence sitter, you, Paul Mariner. Well, just for that, I'm going to go with the away team in this one, and I'll say that Lazio will get the points. AC Milan up against Juventus.
Well, Gattuso's been under pressure for weeks and weeks and weeks, losing his job, Wenger's coming in, all this sort of stuff. To my way of looking at it, it seems as though the lads are playing for him. He's knitted different sides together, different systems. It seems to have worked. But Juve will be smarting from that loss in the Champions League. They've got way too much quality. There's no way that they're going to lose. I'll go with Juve.
I almost want to stick my neck out and go for a draw in this one, but yeah, don't. I think I'm going to go with Juventus on this one to bounce back from, even if they really were actually heartbroken by Manchester United midweek. I don't think they will be that heartbroken, but I do pick them to get the job done. Thanks so much, Paul Mariner. Continue tracking the Serie A, you know where, right here at ESPN FC.
You could certainly argue that Napoli has the easier, but you take a look at the stats, Juve with no shots on goal throughout the entire match. Napoli go there, they boss the possession, plus the chances, plus the passes as well. As Gab Marcotti joins us. Gab, Napoli deserve to win?
Well, I think on balance of what happened during the game, no question about it. They went there. They felt that they needed to win to give themselves a chance. They tried hard for a long time. And the last half hour, perhaps, they ran out of steam. So in the end, it came from a set piece. Allegri spoke after the match saying, no, well, we didn't play for a draw, but we sat in there, tried to hit them on the break, but it didn't quite work out. But I think we all saw the game. Juve really, really struggled. When you don't manage a single shot on target, that's not a good sign.
Let's take a look at what else Allegri had to say after the match. It was a terrible game from both teams. There were barely any shots on goal. Gab, where do you stand on this? First versus second in Italy. For you, was it a good game?
You know what? I think this question, no disrespect, is just silly. Napoli went there and they tried to win. If they weren't able to go and create chances the way they normally do, it's not because the game is terrible. It's because Juve defended in numbers and by and large defended well and didn't concede clear-cut chances. Juventus chose to play a certain way. They had the 4-point lead. They had the luxury to sit back and defend. I don't think it was the right thing to do. I think if Allegri had a do-over, he would do things differently. But that's what happens. When you have one team that parks the bus and one team that has no choice but to attack, you sometimes get these situations. So I think, you know, if Allegri says as well, it was a terrible game, well, yeah, your guys didn't quite show up to play, and sometimes it takes two teams to play.
So it was rubbish then? But you just can't say that.
Where do you stand on it?
I didn't enjoy the game. I didn't enjoy the game
Hey,
at all.
Stevie, I mean...
Gab, I didn't enjoy the game at all. Listen, for us, we want to see a game of football. We want to see chances and we want to see goals. And if that's what you want to see, then don't go and watch this game again, because you won't see any. And those stats, I mean, 12 shots it said that Napoli had. I'm sorry. I absolutely did not think any one of these teams was going to get close to scoring a goal. Never mind Koulibaly scoring with the winner.
Before we let Gav come in, Ali, where do you stand on this? It's a spectacle.
Yeah, what? As a spectacle, it's a bad spectacle. When you consider the fact that there was only, and to Gav's point, there's